T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
That is right. The #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. I don't know why StreamYard likes to unmute. And then
I think they updated this, honestly, where they kind of just mute you and you have to mute yourself.
Yesterday we were on the show, right? Turnbuckle Glam. It unmuted me immediately. Now I had to unmute myself. So I find it funny. I don't know. They might be after me. But anyway, this is maybe so. This is Monday Night Raw post show with the most dominating tag team in women's wrestling talk history. None other than the Salt Shakers. I mean, I'm joined by none other than the beautiful and eccentric, my tag team partner herself, Santana.
Nickie has been in the thesaurus a lot. She's starting to utilize a lot of different vocabularies and synonyms and antonyms. I do appreciate it. Honestly, I really do.
Do you?
No, not really.
Well, look, listen, we have a lot going on. Tonight was, I mean, you know, it kind of just was what it was. For the most part, I mean, we did see a lot of action. Listen, I don't listen. Thank y'all for joining. You know, we appreciate your support and love and everything. But you know, it's another Monday. It must be Mondays if the Salt Shakers are here, unless we're on another promotion doing something else. So I mean, honestly. Oh my goodness. I don't know with the men tonight. Like honestly, there was nothing that really jumped out. I think what they did with Cody in the beginning was really amazing.
Yeah. It was a way to open up, you know, the start of him and The Miz and having their match, which was pretty good. And I guess we'll have Seth versus Cody at WrestleMania Backlash. It's possible. We got to see Damian Priest and my fave. And AJ Styles in a weird ending. And they went straight to commercial. Like they didn't even let it settle or nothing. They just kind of said, all right, we're gonna cut to commercial and that's it.
It was awful, bloody awful. To be honest, Kevin Owens was the most entertaining thing of that night. He was honestly like my highlight of the night. I love seeing Kevin Owens. Honestly, one of my faves. And
they trying to figure out the lie detector test is going to happen next week, where we figure out if Ezekiel is Elias' twin brother, a younger brother.
I don't think he is. Ezekiel gives me a whole different type of feeling. And honestly,
he looks like the older brother. To be honest. He really looks really old Ezekiel looks really old. I don't know. But what I will say is that the men, I don't know. There wasn't much that took place. I mean, the Street Profits and the Usos did have a really good match. Montez is always the star of any match that he chooses to be in.
Styles and Damian was a good match. I just hated the ending. And then what happened with Veer and Dominic was it
was like beating up a child.
It was really it was really interesting in a sense of
Wow. The fact that y'all forgot y'all tribal chief, Cody Rhodes now holding it down. Wow. The switch up is amazing, honestly. The switch up is crazy in men's wrestling, I'll tell you that.
yeah. So
Anyway.
Dominic was treated like a child, and
Mhm.
I mean, we did have the segment at the end with the Usos. I mean, I don't know, just nothing is really like sticking for me. I did enjoy Miz and Cody Rhodes, their match and their
Mhm.
segment. A
Yeah.
lot of people talking about the pyro being used tonight.
We had Bobby and Omos and MVP love triangle happening.
A
There's
lot
a
of just
lot going on, and there's a lot of things happening in men's wrestling tonight that just wasn't that exciting.
it wasn't, and I was trying to make sure we didn't miss anything, but that's pretty
Um,
much it.
Austin doesn't go by Austin Theory anymore. It's just Theory, and he's supposed to go against Finn, and take the title off him
Yeah,
soon. I
and then we
guess
saw Tommaso Ciampa
we
too.
did. He did make his main roster debut officially. He is on Raw. I'm glad they allowed him to keep his name.
Yeah.
Uh, you
MVP
know,
was dissing, from my understanding, MVP was dissing a couple people because it was
he
like Leo
was.
Rush, he dissed Lana. They
Hmm.
said he dissed a couple people.
He
So I don't
did.
know, like that's how do you feel about the unification of the tag team titles? To be honest, I don't care. I don't care what they do. If I booked it, I would only have one tag team title to begin with. To be honest.
Well, I mean, they don't really like I guess we'll discuss it earlier on Clubhouse. There's not that many tags, and it would be nice to see a lot of them kind of mix and mingle with each other more
Right.
often. I really want them to end this brand split, to be honest, because it kind of hinders from a lot of matchups that we really could see outside of just having something at Survivor Series.
Absolutely. And what I think so the most, I love the Viking Raiders. I don't think they get enough credit.
They're
Um,
really good.
they're really good. They're a really substantial tag team, and they may not be the aesthetic or the what people are looking for or enjoy, but the Viking
Mhm.
Raiders are really good. And I don't know. I just think that this is just a time to see um, if we have the are they putting all of this on Roman in a sense of like he holds all his team holds all the titles in WWE, either brand. Will this benefit because we got will this benefit the men's division? Because honestly speaking, when it came to
Really though?
I'm asking that's my question to everybody.
Because a lot of the men who are enjoying this would feel like it would benefit them a
Yeah.
lot. But honestly, it's not going to do anything. But the same people who like him or like them are eventually going to get tired of them.
I mean, I honestly feel like that what they're doing with Cody, there obviously has to be something there with him, him going at Roman possibly.
Mhm.
If the Usos do get all the belts, then it's like, okay, well, here we are. Let's see how this works. My point
Mhm.
to this earlier was the whole, when Becky was double champion, it was nice, and then she wasn't anymore, and then the title transitioned, and we
Yeah.
moved on. And it
Mhm.
was what it was. She'll always go down in history as Becky 2 belts, and that's great
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
it's an accolade. But how long are we going to do this with Roman is the key component and question in this whole equation. Honestly,
Well,
I could care
eventually
less.
he could possibly lose those titles soon to someone who's actually bigger than him.
You didn't say Matt Cardona, did you? Anyway,
If Matt Cardona could make his presence over to WWE, I mean, at this time, the man has already said, "Stop booking him against your champions." And Matt Cardona has not. I don't see Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona hasn't been in a ring with Roman Reigns
I don't think he has. And to be honest, I
because if
can't
he
wait.
did,
Can't wait. I can't wait to get into this more. Um, I cannot wait to get into this more as we go into Impact on Thursday. So make sure you guys check us out there. And honestly, that is pretty much all for the men.
yeah.
Make sure you guys, if you're just tuning in, make sure you guys rewatch the video. It saves automatically, so you can go back and watch the few 10 minutes that we gave to the men. Of course, Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet, moving right along. Someone who was not a loser tonight, of course. Wait, what?
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. That's wild. But
Chelsea, if you're watching, you got some business to take care of. But yeah, moving right along to our women. Someone who wasn't a loser tonight in her one-on-one match with Queen Zelina, the WWE Raw Women's Champion, none other than the beautiful Bianca Belair.
Thought you're gonna add something else after.
No, I'm really trying to get ready to just be perfect with it. But no, seriously, I think this match was I didn't think it would go on that long. But I did, and like I think Queen Zelina has been much better in this run than she has. She's been utilized appropriately. And with Bianca, I mean, she did get a boat.
Happy belated birthday.
Crazy.
Happy belated birthday to Bianca.
Happy belated birthday here at Women's Wrestling Talk. A lot of celebration over the last week too, to be honest. I mean, that is
got married. The girls got married.
The girls were getting married. Former tag team champion Carmella got married. Like this former WWE Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion, I believe.
And tag team
champion. He was the first tag team champion.
That's like accolades.
A lot of accolades. Yeah. I'm watching my Wi-Fi. But yeah, so after the match, to be honest, there's really not much to say.
Well, let's talk about before the match took place. I mean, after Theory came in back there and Kevin and all that stuff, Sonya said that right here in this thing, I have the contract of who Bianca's next opponent is going to be, because she has been asking and wondering who her next opponent was going to be.
Yeah.
After Bianca has her match and defeats Zelina Vega, Sonya comes out and she right here, she said, Bianca, you said that you're getting in the ring with anybody. So Bianca said that yes, she would, and she signed the contract. And we was just when we thought that we was going to find out if we was going to have a return or maybe even a call up to be Bianca's first opponent, or somebody she's already beaten before be her first opponent. And unfortunately, as I stated in Clubhouse,
you called it.
I said, what if it's Sonya Deville? She's sneaky, she's conniving, she overuses her power, she leaves one black woman and goes after the next. And here we are. She goes right after Bianca Belair, and says that your next opponent is me. And Twitter was not having it because, Sonya Deville just gotta find her way, somehow, getting herself into just a bunch of everything. It's like, come on now, Sonya, we don't need any of that. We don't. Like, it could have been somebody else. It really could have been somebody else.
I will be honest. Yeah. I thought for a moment it was Brandy.
I did not think it was Brandy.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like, for a split second when they said new contract, I was like, holy smokes.
But I don't think Brandy is ready yet, though. That's why I don't think Brandy, because I don't think she's ready yet, though. I thought maybe, we could have got the return of Bayley. We could have got the return of Asuka, or something of that nature. We really could have, but we didn't. So now we're here stuck with Sonya Deville.
Yeah.
Using her power to be the next challenger for Bianca, or be the first challenger.
Yeah.
I really hope that, I don't personally think that what Sonya is going to do is going to screw Bianca out of and have her lose this title. I don't think so. But we really never know. Stephanie McMahon has done it before.
That is true. And I didn't even think about it like that, to be honest, because, to be honest, anything really is possible at this moment. And I mean, do we really think that,
Okay, they're quoting Cody. We're not doing it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just going through it. Everybody gets a chance.
No, no. We're talking about Bianca. We're not talking about men. Y'all should have stayed in the 10 minutes.
But yeah, Stephanie did do it.
She
And
did. And I mean, and what I can say is that I think after she has this match with Bianca, maybe Bailey does come out WrestleMania Backlash.
I want it.
I want Bailey to come back.
Yeah.
They have unfinished business.
They do. They need an I
You
Quit
know,
match.
why
Yeah.
not? Well, they have an I Quit match, but fortunately, it's going to Charlotte and Ronda.
Well, and to that point though, I still think that Bailey and Bianca had one of a feud that never got tiring to me. I really felt like Bianca and Bailey were going to turn into Kevin and Sammy. And the reason I say that is because it didn't matter how that I Quit match that they were going to have was going to end. It was all about the concept of them actually being that close to a feud. Already in Hell in a Cell, already in I Quit. The next step is, I mean, honestly, let's just be honest, a last woman standing match.
True.
And that's what you do because you go into the Iron Woman match. You find someone. I just think that Bailey has given Bianca some of her best matches. Now, don't get me wrong. Bailey and Bianca and Sasha will forever go down as one of the greatest women's matches of all time.
Yeah.
Period. The match was spectacular. However, Bailey is just as close with the matches that Bianca has given. She's honestly been giving her, when she was here, the best matches. And I'm ready to see Bailey be the one to, intrude on Becky. I mean, not Becky, but
Bailey.
Bianca. It's so much B's, Bailey, Bianca, Becky, Lord Jesus.
It really is.
It really is. And it gets so crazy because honestly, like you just really don't know. And anything can happen, honestly.
It really can. And to bring it a point, I mean, even with last year's WrestleMania Backlash, Sasha and Bianca didn't have their rematch there. It was Bianca and Bailey that had a match at WrestleMania Backlash. So I mean, I wouldn't say that not necessarily everything is going to be like a rematch. I feel like it's going to be probably some matches on that card that didn't make it to WrestleMania.
I'm
possible.
it now. I honestly think that moving forward, that Sasha and Naomi will possibly face Natty and Shayna again.
It's possible.
I really think. Now it might, because I mean, Rhea and Liv were supposed to be tonight. However, that didn't happen because of protocol that was announced. Rhea was not able to compete. So with that being said, they moved on. And Naomi defeated Liv Morgan in a singles competition. That feels pleasing.
Liv Morgan really thought she was gonna beat Naomi in a match. No, people really. Sasha can take a loss. She's been used to it. But you really thought that she was gonna lose to Naomi.
I really didn't know. I really thought, to be honest, that Liv would get another win over the tag team champions to build herself a little momentum. But the funny thing that I find it very rather thrilling about Liv is that they always give, and she never does. It's very funny.
Oh yeah, she does. She definitely does. She loses. That's what she does.
She loses. She wins and she loses. She's a loser. And I hate to say it, she's a loser. And next week, her and her partner, Rhea Ripley, will be losers. Just like she was a loser.
I hope that Rhea beats the dog out of her. Literally.
I do too.
I really
think that Rhea needs to get away from tag team matches. And it's not.
Like she after the whole Nikki Ash thing, and then getting put in with Liv, like she said, they just got put together. Just put together. She admitted and said in the interview,
she did make it seem as though she enjoyed Liv a little more because they had worked together, they got along, they made jokes. I do think they were stuck together and she has enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think she's enjoyed it to the point where it's like, okay, she's a cool
She
girl
wants
to
this
be
to
a part
continue.
of, but she doesn't want it to continue.
Yeah.
I feel that Rhea does want to be
Let's wrap
back
this up
into that
for
singles,
Backlash.
basically. So, and it may happen next week. They're gonna wrap it up. Rhea's gonna turn on her, and she's gonna go off with Edge and Damian Priest, which a lot of people are hoping for, and I hope that does happen. Where she becomes eventually Bianca's next opponent after Bianca beats up Sonya Deville.
True. It could
Because
happen.
there's no telling how long this feud with Sonya and Bianca is gonna go. If we're being honest.
I mean, if we are being honest, I don't know. I really don't. I really don't know because anything is possible at this point. I do think keeping, the the mold like this would be, I wasn't a big fan of it at first.
Yeah.
But just to be honest, I mean, let's just be honest for a minute. I mean, they are the best thing that's given to us at this moment, to be honest.
As of right now, they are. I mean, you can't help but to say that. I mean, they still have their own individuality. They're familiar with each other. You know what I'm saying? It's not as if like they've never worked with each other before, Sasha and Naomi. They've been in a faction with each other. They started out, when Sasha came into the main roster, she started out with Tamina and Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not like they're not used to being in a tag together or anything of that nature. It's just nice the fact that they're the first Black women to hold these tag team titles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's monumental.
It is. It means a lot, But yeah, they did throw Nikki Ash and that. I mean, what else you gonna do with her?
I mean, she's been there before, though. I mean, she has popped in a few times before, but I will say that to the next point with Dana and Tamina, at least like everyone says, at least they're getting TV time. At least something's going on. We will have an officiated marriage, two weddings next week again. But R-Truth. I wish if I get married one day, I hope that R-Truth calls my wedding. I would love that. That would be wrestling history iconic. Just putting it out in the universe. Hopefully it's a wrestler, or maybe not, but who cares? R-Truth, if you're out there, please. We love it. But overall, that segment was just what it was. Once again, we've been very candid about how we feel about the whole 24/7 championship. There's not much to really I'm probably the biggest Dana Brooke fan that you will ever meet. So honestly, seeing her hold that title and everything that's going on and having televised programming and being included in something, I'm fine. She looks gorgeous. She looks absolutely stunning. So does Tamina. Like, it works. And then Nicki just comes in there and gets slung on the bar table by Tamina. So I was sports entertained.
I would hope that they just let that girl lose that superhero gimmick.
That is hilarious.
It's stupid. It's like, listen, that honestly, it's ran its course. Okay, comic book ended. There's no more makings of that comic book.
It looks like Becky kind of stole her thing and made it more realistic at WrestleMania with her entrance.
She made like her entrance and it being like a Marvel type thing or whatever.
It was given like Nikki Ash was more like cartoon superhero and Becky like big time. No pun intended.
Very much so. You got to give the girl something to do, I guess. Why not throw her in the shenanigans? Maybe she'll be the one to kind of interrupt the wedding next week, She got to get payback. It's possible.
Well, listen, I live for the shenanigans. We love to see it, honestly. I mean, we're moving forward to Backlash. I mean, honestly, with everything that we were given tonight, we really were not given a direction unless they're honestly going to let Bianca face Sonya at Backlash. And I just don't see it happening. Just to be honest, I think she'll have another opponent by then. So if you're listening,
he definitely will. Because WrestleMania Backlash is May 8th.
It definitely will.
So there's going to be a lot of build up. There's going to be a lot of, but we don't necessarily know if it's going to be WrestleMania Backlash though. They never said if Sonya and
that was my point. That I think she's gonna get an opponent before then. I don't think that they're gonna have that match.
I mean, who really knows? I mean, it's only April 11th.
Yeah.
We got a few weeks left before we get to WrestleMania Backlash. So
I
honestly,
think
there's a lot of build up.
this is just gonna make people like this is just gonna pit like it's done to piss the fans off.
Even more.
And then eventually, hopefully, but with that being said, I want you guys to drop who you think will be Bianca's official opponent. If you do think it's Sonya, put Sonya. I personally think it's either Bailey or Asuka coming back in some magnitude. I also think this theory. I think that they're going to pile on the competition to Bianca moving forward. So I think that she's going to be in due time held responsible of Asuka and Bailey coming back, and I think they're going to come back week after week. And I think they're just going to keep building Bianca to just keep building and building and beating certain people.
Well, I would want her to have a lengthy reign, though. Honestly, I don't want to have the whole her win at WrestleMania, she lose at SummerSlam.
That's stupid.
You know, like I feel like if you're able to give other people a lengthy reign, Bianca should deserves a lengthy reign as well. It's not like she's a bad champion. She can hold herself on the mic. She's a great wrestler. Why does her reign or majority of the time black wrestlers' reign get cut short? When they're sometimes the best thing that you put in the ring with your favorites. Honestly. It's not fair.
It's not fair. And what's really weird is it reminds me of kind of with Big E's reign.
Yeah.
I always talk about, we talk about this a lot, timing. It's always about timing. I think the timing was really off. I think the way they built that was really off. So I hope that with Bianca, 2 years in a row, black woman, she's still a champion. That says a lot. I know WWE gets a lot of heat for some of the things that they have done and still do. But we have to be optimistic in certain aspects, especially when it comes to what we're seeing in women's wrestling. One thing's for sure before we get out of here, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first match and only match that is actually announced for Backlash. I'm not sure if they're going in any other direction, but one thing's for sure. Charlotte Flair will be defending her WWE SmackDown Women's Championship against Ronda Rousey Sunday, May 8th at WrestleMania Backlash. This is the only match that we have, from my understanding, that is made official. So
yeah, that's the only one as of right now.
That's it. And as the weeks lead up to WrestleMania Backlash, I sound like a pastor. And
you already know they do that stuff.
Santana and Stephanie will be holding it down on SmackDown, and we'll be giving you all the content. We here on the Monday Night Raw side will be giving you all the Raw matches that will be happening at WrestleMania Backlash. And then don't forget to join us here after Monday Night Raw. Every Monday night, we will be here for you. Of course, Wednesday nights with the Dynamite Dolls, Al and Mika will be in the building every Wednesday night for AEW Dynamite. Follow us back on Thursday night because the Salt Shakers have made their way to Impact Wrestling. Thank God. I've been trying to get this contract with my tag team partner for weeks upon weeks. She is the most dominating singles competitor in WWE, while I stand tall in Impact. So Thursday nights, a little late. We come a little late, but we try to make sure that. So the interesting thing about Impact is that their stream actually runs at 3 different times. But what we try to do is we try to make sure that everyone has finally ended their stream. And then we come together and we recap everything. And then again on Friday night, SmackDown and Rampage is broken down by the lovely Santana and Stephanie. And then back again on Sunday with Turnbuckle Glam. So those are all of our weekly shows. We will also be doing a news show starting. We have news that comes every week on Thursday. Is that right, Santana?
Every Thursday, me and TK, or me and whoever chooses that they want.
Santana's always there, and someone else.
And someone else. If it's not TK, then it's always me and somebody else who chooses to sign up for the news.
It's not me.
I don't do anything. I just come. That's it.
However, I will be coming to you, me and maybe by myself, me and maybe my tag team partner, me and maybe, somebody else. I will be starting May 9th. I will be doing the news on Mondays. So you'll get 2 segments of the news, and we'll split it up. We'll do the news over the weekends, and you'll get that noon Central Time on Mondays, and then follow us again on Thursdays, and you'll get the rest of the week's news. And then we'll see you again on Monday, and then again on Thursday. So a lot of weekly programming going on, and a lot of surprises. We do. Santana, any last thoughts or final words before we close up shop in 30 minutes cap?
I don't have anything else to say. I mean, Raw was pretty interesting. It was like, man, it was cool. It had some nice little moments. I mean, of course, it's the Raw of the WrestleMania. We won. So, I mean, it's a new season. So there's a lot of things that they, trying to work on, build new storylines, build new stars, bring new people out. They're on the road to WrestleMania Backlash. So it's going to probably be a lot of matches put together. Well, I wouldn't say put together, but start building. I don't know. They're going to start either having some rematches. Oh, wait. No, we do have Cody and Seth for WrestleMania Backlash.
Has that been booked tonight?
I don't think it's been booked tonight, but he did accept the rematch. So it's possible that they will have their rematch at WrestleMania Backlash. Okay. We could see Kevin Owens and Ezekiel have a match at WrestleMania Backlash because it seems like he's in a feud with this guy. So, I mean, I don't know.
It's possible, honestly.
I really don't know.
Anything is honestly possible.
It really is.
It really is. Well, that's it, folks. It's always fun. We have a lot of big things coming up, and I'm just really excited. Signing out. I mean, yet again, another Monday night with the most dominating tag team in women's wrestling talk history, and of course, the number 1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the number 1 women's wrestling show on the planet.